What's going on, guys? Your boy, I'm back again for another video today. Today I want to talk about detaching from the process. So this is a video for people who, you feel like you're always doing the work, but you're like, man, when is the end gonna come? I'm one of those people. This is something that I'm struggling with. So these are three things I do, and I got a bonus if you stay to the end of the video. But these are three things that I do that kind of help me detach from the process or the outcome, so that way I can focus more on what I'm doing and not necessarily on when it's going to come back to me, right? So think about like the reaping versus sowing. Like you sow, but you don't know when you're going to reap. You just know that eventually whatever you put the work in for the harvest, the seeds that you plant, eventually they have to come back to you, right? So let's get into it. All right. So the first thing that I do is I focus on the reps. This is what I try to do, focus on the reps. So you focusing on the input and not the output. So instead of saying, okay, for example, if I'm in the gym, instead of saying like, hey man, I'm in the gym to, say I'm trying to lose a certain amount of weight or whatever, I focus on the input. So the input is, okay, I focus on being consistent. I focus on trying to, get the reps down. Like, okay, let me make sure that I'm doing my leg presses right. Let me make sure that I'm doing my squats right. Let me make sure that I'm, instead of, so whatever your, I guess, original goal is, so say my goal is to lose 10 pounds, instead of saying, let me lose 10 pounds, let me see how much better I can get a squat. Let me see how much better I can get a bench. Let me see how much better I can get in my mile. You know what I'm saying? The thing that you might not necessarily be so worried about, like take the outcome away that you're actually looking for and focus on whatever the inputs to those things are. So if I'm in basketball, I say, hey man, I want to get my handles better. I want to get like Kyrie Irving. So let's focus on the end product of Kyrie Irving and the handles, and more focused on, let me do 10 minutes today. Let me do 10 minutes tomorrow. Let me get crafty with what I'm doing. Let me try a little side to side. Let me try a little front and back. Let me do a little lateral. Let me do, you know what I'm saying? So it's changing the way that you look at the reps and not necessarily what the reps will bring you. So it's focusing more on the work, focus more on what you're putting in there instead of focusing on what you get back. So one of the things I got here is, one of the things I work on is making 100 videos versus wondering if that one video is going to go viral. So what I mean by that is I focus on the reps. So for me, you guys are seeing me do these videos, right? So far, I'm like 8, 9, 10 days in. So my goal is, okay, eventually I do want the videos to do something, but it's not so much about how many views I get. How often can I push these things out? Can I get a certain numbers out? Like, kind of challenge yourself. Okay, I'm going to try to do one every day. Let me see if I can do one every day for the next 20 days. Let me see if I can do one every day for the next 30 days. Instead of saying like, oh, I want this to get a 1,000 views, or I'm trying to get 1,000, subscribers. So you focusing on the metrics that you can control versus the metrics that you can't control. Like, I can't control so much on when I get 1,000 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers, but I can control how many videos I put out there, right? So that's the first thing, is focusing on the reps. The second thing is thinking long-term and not short-term. So like I said, with these 20 videos versus the one video, or 100 videos versus the one. So instead of thinking, okay, this next video I do, it has to go viral, it has to do this, it has to do that. You're spending too much time focusing on that one video instead of saying like, let me do 20 videos and see what video people like. Or if I'm making music, right? Let me do 20 songs, drop them all and see what people like. As opposed to saying, no, this next song I do, it has to be the one that has to go viral. Let me just put out a whole bunch of music and see how people do. If you're a fan of music and rap, you have Russ, who was a rapper who dropped a song on SoundCloud. I think it was every week he dropped a song on SoundCloud every week. And so with doing that, instead of you focused on, okay, I got to get this one song to go viral, or I got to get this one song to do this or one song to do that. You're not focused on, let me just throw stuff out there and see what sticks. Those is also getting the reps in, but you're thinking long term, not short, because you're not thinking about this one thing. You're thinking about, okay, let me judge this after I do this many things. So let me see what ideas that I have, and just trying to get as many ideas out there as possible. With these videos, this is kind of me testing certain things. I'm talking, my talking head videos, my yapping, but it's also me seeing what ideas do people like, what kind of concepts do I want to get out. I've been wanting to try videos like this, so let me just try them. Just do a whole bunch of them and kind of see what works, right? So you focus on the reps. You think long term, not short. So you're thinking about, like I said, you're not thinking about today. You're thinking about, okay, let me do 30 videos and then look back at a month and see what my growth is. As opposed to, let me do one video and then every hour, let me see if that one video has more than one view. That'll help you change your perspective a lot, okay? So let's get into the third point. All right, so the third one is changing your why and enjoying the process. So the why should change. So instead of me doing this, hey, I'm doing this to get 10K subscribers, I'm doing this because this is what I want to do. I want to get the reps in. I want to think long term, not short term. I also want to change the way that I'm looking at this. It's not okay. It's not about the monetary. It's how good can I get at this thing. If you're a basketball player, yes, you can say, okay, my goal is the NBA. That might be a long-term goal. But right now, it's how good can I get at playing basketball. Yeah, I want to get in the gym. Yeah, I want to lose weight. But how strong can I get? How fast can I get? And the byproduct of that would be you losing weight. The byproduct of that would be being healthier. So it's reframing why you do the things you do in a way that's going to be enjoyable for you. So for me challenging myself to do a video a day of just whatever it is, me just yapping, me just talking or whatever, me challenging myself to do that would then allow me to get the reps in, not focus on the short term, but it also would allow me to enjoy the process, because now when I judge myself, or now when I critique it, or now when I change my metrics, I'm not looking at whatever the next video is going to do. I'm looking 20 videos down the line, and then I can come back and I see out of these 20 videos, which video did the best, right? So you change your metrics, you changing why you're doing it, and then you find a way that you enjoy the process. By me trying different things, I'm trying to see what ideas stick for me, what ideas I like, what ideas I don't like, and just how efficient can I be at this thing, right? And then that'll make it easier for me if I decide, you know what, I don't want to do a video today. I just want to do one a week. I done did so many videos a day that now doing the video a week will be a lot easier than me trying to do a video a day. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And so here's for the bonus. Detach from the outcome. So your outcome needs to be flexible. This is something that took me a long time to learn, is your outcome needs to be flexible. So say that the goal is the NBA, right? But maybe you wind up overseas, or maybe you don't get to the NBA when you want to get to the NBA. Maybe you wind up doing 4 years of college instead of 1. Maybe you wind up going to play FIBA, or go to, you know what I'm saying, go Euro League, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Say that you wind up doing those things instead. So it's detaching yourself from the outcome and finding a way to do whatever now is. And the reason why I say detach yourself from the outcome, because it's not that that goal isn't long term. It's more so that the goal is about creating something that you want to create, and then you can take it where you take it, right? If I focus on the NBA, then if I don't make the NBA, I feel like a failure. But if I say, you know what, I want to make the NBA, but in the process, I want to get as good as I want to get. Maybe one day I decide I don't want to be in the NBA. Maybe I'm okay with doing overseas. Maybe I'm okay with playing in Puerto Rico. Maybe I'm okay with going to Italy. Maybe I'm okay with doing G League and NBA for those who like basketball. Maybe the goal is 100, with the videos. Maybe it's like, okay, I want to get 100K subscribers, right? Maybe that's the long-term outcome that you want to look. But then if you look at now, you say, okay, maybe let me just get as good at YouTube as I can get, right? Let me just get these reps in, because you might decide down the line, you know what, I don't even want 100K subscribers. Maybe my 10K is what I need. Maybe my 50K is what I need. Maybe this is the community that I need to be able to foster and grow, and that wasn't the metric that I needed to begin with. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I know that I'm rambling a lot, but I hope that this is cohesive for you to understand what I'm saying. So focus on the reps. Focus on what you do. Don't focus on the outcome. Just say, how good can I get at this thing, man? If I'm practicing my handles every day, how good? If I'm at the gym, how much stronger can I get? If I'm working on videos, how much better at my videos can I get? If I'm a chef, how much better can I get at cooking this next meal? And then further down the line, you might decide, I don't want to be a chef anymore. Or I thought I wanted to be soul food chef, but I want to do like country cooking, or I want to do Creole food, or whatever. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, you're changing the way that you look at it. Focus on the reps. Think long term, not short. Gauge yourself on a longer time scale than every day, so that way you're not looking at the metrics hour by hour. Change your why and find a way to enjoy the process. So the goal shouldn't necessarily be monetarily, and this is also detached from the outcome. Even though the goal could be, hey, I want to make $1 million. While you trying to make 100 and make that 100 to 500, make that 510, or while I'm finding a way to get as many reps in as I can, then I can get as good as I need to do. Then the money and the views and the subscribers, all of that stuff is a byproduct, because I got as good as I could get at this thing, right? So that's what I have today, detached from the process. Hopefully this helps. If you made it this far in the video, drop a thumbs up in the comment. I appreciate you for watching. Till next time, peace.